Okay, it's super easy to build. You're going to start with a twig 2x1 with 2 twig half walls here. And then you're going to place a regular rug on that first twig half wall. Keep in mind these are both soft side facing us. And then we're going to do building plan triangle foundation on our character and strafe all up against the rug. And we're going to do rug first and then unrug, as opposed to the other direction like this. I just feel like gives that gap a lot more consistently. And you're going to strafe up against that rug, click, jump over, click. And now this is going to give you a very minute vertical pixel gap here that isn't going to work with walls right here, but it's going to work with square floors and stone triangle floors. And unfortunately, if you build out this way, it's not going to work. So you do have to break this and then wait for that to build back. And you're just going to make sure you build off one square on each of the triangles. And that's all that you want to upgrade, and you ensure that you have your pixel gap in the center. And that's all very standard style if you've ever done one of these in the last decade. And you can start it like this because it's the best way to start it. Again, from like a legacy shack or something, from a 2x1, and place a floor on one side and then a floor on the other, ensuring that you have this. And then you can do this and place a TC and then do a 2x1. And remember, locked open double door is the best way. But even if we were rated fully right now, if we left it like this, and we added one more sheet door on here, if we left it like this, the likelihood of someone finding that is slim. And before we expand, it's going to be nice and easy, but we want to check with the hexagon off of each square off of each side, like this, with the empty diamond in the center. This is very important to make sure you're floating the gap and you don't have any errors. And then you want to put your half walls here, put your half walls here, and you have no errors. Sometimes here you will get errors if you have a huge gap, if you weren't holding Alt correctly. And you'd have to do a lot of weird stuff, but it looks like everything here is good. So we're just going to go ahead and upgrade everything here, and notice where we have our pixel gap continued in the triangle. It doesn't necessarily have to continue. We don't need it right here. I like to do full honeycomb on TC side, which is what we're going to do. So we're going to float this gap over here. All this is demolishable and pickupable. And of course I do that. Now, easy. And now we can do a frame here. Get one of those there, and then now we can just expand like, oh, I'm all over here again. One right here. Looks like we have a gap right here. Let's see where these are floating. And waste some stone if you want. That's usually what I do. You can't see those pixel gaps with twig. It's kind of weird. And then now, when we upgrade this to Adobe or brick, we'll be able to access that. And now we can honeycomb our TC side. And we can create a jump up right here, but I like to do furnaces above these. You don't have to do furnaces. And then we want to continue for one over here. And you can do a raised foundation on one of these. And then another pixel gap right here. Keep in mind, okay, it looks like it's over here. So you have, again, you can't see it with the twig, so you have to play with that. We're going to do the raised foundation on this side, and then the pixel gap right here under the drop box. So it looks like it's part of this plane. I was not paying attention to my building plans good enough. Correct. Correct. Waste that 150 stone, and now we can fill this in. Fill this in. Now you have your jump up right here. And door goes on the right, so the double door swings to the left. And it's a really simple base, but it's really cracked with the actual PIXELGAP cracks. And once you have it like this, once you have all of your 5, it's pretty much just standard 2x1 stuff. And on this one, we just want an early bedroom. But you also want to do the same thing where you want to check which one this is off of. Which side your gap is gapping off of. Like it's not gapping off of anyone. There's a gap. We could use that. And it looks like just the way we place it. And now we can replace that with the foundation and put our boxes under here. Now finally all the crackhead stuff is done, and you can half wall these up. Get it? Because it's like a crack shack with the PIXELGAP cracks, and like in a literal sense, a crack shack. The shack is full of cracks, and seal this up again. Double door swinging outward with single door swinging outward to the left. Airlock bedroom with your blue boxes under there. And now that all the annoying stuff is done here, I could just speed this up. And I like to upgrade these to sheet metal as like before you're upgrading, before you're doing the foundation. But I don't like to do it beyond sheet metal, really. Besides, I like to do this HQM, make it look like a regular 2x1, because if you upgrade it too much, then they know. But if you don't upgrade it, you're less likely, you're less protected, but they're less likely to know to even rate it in the first place. Like that, make sure that's sheet metal. This, and then we can go I do sheet metal all on this side because it's 2 walls. Like this, and then this is sheet metal right here. This is sheet metal. You don't want any of these. Do this. No, you can't do that. That's a foundation. And go ahead and upgrade honeycomb here. Upgrade that before you honeycomb it. And then you could do metal again. Again, there's so many under, there's no way that they're ever getting all of them. So it's not really that big of a deal for me. And I like to do the peak right here. The windowed loot room right here so they can't pick up from the front door. And not a garage door. This, and then this one can be a garage door. Just so you could put stuff like lights and stuff. And this could be a jump up. And I like to seal this one fully with a single door right here. That. And then you want to upgrade all of this here to metal. And then we're doing standard solo villain base right here, solo villain 2x1. And then you can put your locker behind the roof. It doesn't really matter. But if you wanted to do it, you would just butt it up right up against the wall as far as you can, and pull it back about a dot on the sheet metal. By the way, a single dot on the line. And now when you make these brutalist, make this one up. Let me do a double door frame right there. And we want to seal these sides up, and we want one door right here. And then I like to do this. That, and then you come out here parkour style off of your half wall jump up and make the triggers, and then do wood frames like this. And you don't have it over here, you may just need to do twig. That, and then you can honeycomb this, so you could upgrade that to sheet metal. Honeycomb this so it's 2 walls. And then obviously this side that we didn't do the other one with. Just like that. And then that's pretty much it. Now you have all of your pixel gap. You have 5 different areas as well as the actual bunker for 6 total. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you have the spiral stair bunker. And then you have this stuff where you could hide stuff even behind this if you wanted, and access it right here if you wanted to make it completely hidden and not accessible through here. You wouldn't pull it. You just push it all the way back, and then you could access it here later. And you can set a single box here, and then you do the inward embrasure, and now you have some crazy peaks. And now the turret spams are back. I've just been trying to cut it out of the recording. Very nice and very easy.